Minister KP Sharma Oli's move to dissolve the House of Representatives has created chaos in the national politics. Constitutional experts have objected to the decision, saying that there is no provision in the National Charter for the executive head to recommend the dissolution of the majority government. All eyes have now shifted to the legality of the Prime Minister's recommendation for the same. Good morning, I am Bipashna Tamang and these are the headlines of the hour. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli blames his own party leaders for inviting the dissolution of the House of Representatives as he addresses the nation. The Dahal-led faction forms alliance with Nepali Congress and Janata Samajwadi Party at the wake of the lower house dissolution, urges to hold parliamentary meeting at the earliest. US President-elect Joe Biden receives his first dose of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, says he got the jab to show Americans it is safe to take. And Chelsea blank West Ham United 3-0 to climb to the 5th spot of the English Premier League points table. Burnley defeat Wolves 2-1. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, who dissolved the House of Representatives on Sunday, has defended his decision, saying that the move was necessary as the government was cornered by the ruling party itself. During his state address yesterday, the Premier said NCP leaders had invited their dissolution.
जनादेश र जनभावना विपरीत राष्ट्रिय राजनीतिलाई अन्त्यहीन एवं अर्थहीन विवादमा अल्झाएर गतिरोध सिर्जना गरिएपछि संसदलाई अर्थहीन तुल्याइएपछि र जननिर्वाचित सरकारलाई असहयोग, विरोध र घेराबन्दीमा पुर्याइएपछि मेरा सामु सार्वभौम जनता समक्ष जानुको विकल्प रहेन। त्यसैले जनता समक्ष प्रस्तुत हुने निष्कर्ष अनुरूप हिजो 2077 साल पुष 5 गते प्रतिनिधि सभाको विघटन गरेर आगामी 78 साल वैशाखमा नयाँ निर्वाचन गर्ने निर्णय गरिएको बेहोरा म निवेदन गर्न चाहन्छु। सरकार गठनको 1 वर्ष नपुग्दै कुनै नेताले मुलुक बाहिर गएर अस्थिरताको सन्देश छर्नुभयो भने कुनै नेताले प्रधानमन्त्री मुलुकमा नभएको मौका पारेर देश डुब्न लाग्यो भन्दै बचाउनका लागि माझी गुहार्न थाल्नुभयो। सरकार संविधानको कार्यान्वयनका लागि नयाँ कानुन निर्माण, संघीयताको कार्यान्वयन र मुलुकको सामाजिक आर्थिक रूपान्तरणमा केन्द्रित थियो। तर कतिपय साथीहरूका आँखा निरन्तर पद, प्रतिष्ठा र पद सोपानमा मात्रै केन्द्रित भए।
In his televised address, the Premier insisted that he had to go for a fresh mandate as he was not allowed to perform by endless bickering against the party's mandate. The Premier also repeatedly threw allegations against Executive Chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal and Senior Leader Madhav Kumar Nepal of trying to topple the government. Prime Minister Oli added that the upcoming mid-term elections would give an opportunity to the leaders of the ruling party and the opposition leaders who are anxiously aspiring to become the next Prime Minister. Major political parties, including the ruling Nepal Communist Party and the main opposition Nepali Congress, have called Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's move to dissolve the House of Representatives undemocratic and unconstitutional. The all-party meeting held yesterday afternoon at the Nepali Congress Party office in the capital Sanipa strongly protested against the Prime Minister's move. Leaders from the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Nepali Congress and Janata Samajwadi Party agreed to hold separate Central Committee meetings today to discuss and announce plans for further protests.
संसदमा रहेका 3 राष्ट्रिय पार्टीहरूको बीचमा भएको आजको बैठकले हिजो भएको प्रतिनिधि सभा विघटनको घोषणा जो गरिएको छ त्यो घोषणालाई संविधान विरोधी र अलोकतान्त्रिक कदम ठहर गरेको छ। हामी तीनै पार्टीहरू त्यसको विरुद्धमा छौं र यो असंवैधानिक र अलोकतान्त्रिक कदमको विरुद्धमा कसरी एकताबद्ध भएर अगाडि बढ्ने भन्ने सन्दर्भमा तीनै पार्टीको केन्द्रीय कमिटीहरूको बैठक भोलि भएको कारणले त्यसपछि फेरि हामी आपसी छलफल गरेर अगाडि बढ्नेछौँ।
Prior to the all-party meeting, opposition Nepali Congress had held internal discussions regarding the party's future strategy. Following the dissolution of the House of Representatives, the chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, and Executive Chairman Pushpakamal Dahal, who clearly have stood at opposite sides, have intensified meetings and discussions with their associates. We have more in this report.
The intra-party strife has clearly dragged the ruling Nepal Communist Party on the verge of a split. As both chairmen convened separate meetings on Monday, leaders who had been indecisive earlier have now started choosing factions. Both the factions have tried to prove the opposition faction wrong and have held separate meetings with lawmakers of the dissolved lower house. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has called a Central Committee meeting in Balwatar, while Executive Chairman Pushpakamal Dahal has summoned a meeting at another venue on the same day on Tuesday. This shows that the party is on the verge of a split, while both the factions are trying to prove themselves as the official party. The dissident faction, meanwhile, is preparing to take disciplinary action against Premier Oli. However, Prime Minister Oli said that any action taken against him would not be legal and clarified that he was compelled to take the step to dissolve the House of Representatives as leaders within the ruling party did not allow him to work as per the public mandate. During the meeting with the outgoing parliamentarians close to him, Premier Oli instructed them to actively be involved in the upcoming elections, saying that there was no alternative to the fresh mandate. The upcoming few days are very crucial for the ruling party, as it will be clear which faction will garner more support from the 481 Central Committee members and 174 lawmakers of the dissolved House of Representatives. Both the factions are mulling over strategies to take action against each other to claim their official position. The dispute is likely to reach the court through the Election Commission. The faction that can show a majority in its favor in the executive body might claim the election symbol and other legacies of the party.
And we'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. And in our Public Voice segment, we had asked locals in Patsthar what is the reason for the local government's failure to effectively carry out development works. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
योजनालाई प्राथमिकीकरण नगर्नु, जनप्रतिनिधिहरूको हाबी हुनु, अनि विषय विज्ञताको अभाव हुनु, यिनै कारणले गर्दा स्थानीय निकायमा जति हुनुपर्थ्यो विकास त्यो अनुसार भएन।
पार्टीको निर्देशनमा चल्ने र पार्टीकै कार्यकर्तालाई त्यो ठेकापट्टा पनि दिएको कारणले गर्दा नै स्थानीय निकायमा चाहिँ काम चाहिँ प्रभावकारी भएको छैन।
आफ्नै अनुकूलताका हिसाबले योजनाहरू छान्ने र त्यसलाई चाहिँ कार्यान्वयनमा लाने र एउटा चाहिँ बस्ती तहको गाउँ तहको अथवा आफ्नो समग्र क्षेत्र समग्र चाहिँ अरु पक्षहरूलाई पनि समेट्न नसक्दाखेरि विकास योजनाहरू विवादित बनेका अवरोध हुने गरेका यसले गर्दा पनि स्थानीय तहको विकास निर्माणमा केही न केही गतिरोध भएको देखिन्छ।
निर्वाचितहरूले चाहिँ जुन प्रतिबद्धता गरेका थिए त्यो प्रतिबद्धतालाई बिर्सिएर चाहिँ जनताहरू केही पनि होइनन्।
आफूलाई कसरी पृष्ठपोषण गर्न सकिन्छ त्यो खालको योजनाहरू ल्याएको हुनाले यो गति लिन नसकेको जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ।
कति भागबण्ड गरेर कति आफूले पाउने भन्ने कुरा उनीहरूको सबैभन्दा मुख्य बनेको छ। उनीहरूको उद्देश्य त्यो रहन्छ। त्यो कारणले पनि विकासको कामहरू चाहिँ छिटो हुन पनि सक्दैन।
And time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question: how do you find the Prime Minister's address to the nation? The options are option A, realistic, option B, complete lie, and option C, ploy to stay in power. The voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And that's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.